today, if I get seen, they're probably going to think that I am working, but clearly I'm not. I mean, sex workers are pretty discreet when they're working on the street.
A lot of women engaged in survival sex here in Portland are homeless. They're wearing ripped up jeans and clothes they've been sleeping with on the streets for a long time. And also a lot of the sex workers that I work with are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and so that also kind of defies a really young, pretty woman type.
I look forward to seeing you then. And I'll be better then. Okay, bye-bye. Good. Cash is good.
He's one of your regulars, right?
Yeah. His wife just refuses to have sex with him. She's like, she's like, won't go get help, won't be sexual with him, but he works his ass off for his family and her, but she just won't give him sex. And so about once a month he comes and gets sex from me, and then it keeps his marriage together.
This is where I keep a lot of my sex worker outreach supplies. So we hand out like these sort of goodie bags that have condoms and matches and hygiene items. I coordinate the Sex Worker Outreach Coalition, which is a coalition of social service providers, medical professionals, and also current and former sex workers.
It's not a population that you can just walk up to on the street corner and start serving. You need someone that can help you make the introduction and then draw the population back in.
We're really based on a model of empowerment, so we're always believe that we meet people where they're at and help them to decide what choices are best for them. And I think that's what actually really goes well with our sex industry outreach program, because we're not telling women that they need to leave the sex industry.
Yeah, I'm a sex workaholic. I love dancing, and it's pretty much my life. I didn't want to be a street worker. I tried it for a week, and it wasn't really my thing. All the escorting that I've done has been internet escorting and over the phone. Craigslist was like one of the first websites that I ever posted on. I do everything on my own.
Well, I started when I was 13. I had a father that forced me out of his house wanting sex from me. I was just trying to survive, and then I quit and became a good girl. I thought I was too old to do it anymore, and then my friend said, get out there. It was a sense of power for me, that I could still take care of myself.
It's not that I'm just like putting my body out there and just dancing and shaking my body and, doing all these sex appealing moves. It's not that to me. To me, it's my self-expression on how I'm feeling. And this is what I chose to do, and this is what I'm going to do until I finish going to school.
If you can separate that love part out of there, then then it's just simply sex and like washing the dishes, or taking out the garbage, and that's what I be doing, when I'm giving a head or something, I just be like, okay, and then I gotta do the laundry, but I mean, I've had other jobs in my life and stuff, like I said, when I was trying to be a good girl, but I mean, what's wrong with being a bad girl, what's wrong with that?
The most important tool that we have available to us is our advocacy, and that's done through community partnerships.
We go to several different locations all over the city of Portland and also in Clackamas County, and we do outreach to sex workers, mainly medical outreach.
I work with young people ages 14 to 25. I go out on the street and try to engage young people into our services, from shelter to case management to education and employment. While I was doing the outreach work, I was seeing a lot of young people that were working in the sex industry.
This is the bad date line right here. We're trying to assist sex workers in avoiding assault. They can call in or write in, and they give us a description of somebody who's been abusive or violent. Being able to do something, I think, is empowering for them.
Transition Project's role in SWAC is to be that housing link. A lot of homeless women are having survival sex. A lot of homeless women are participating in the sex industry. And also the men in our shelter are also participating in the sex industry.
There really wasn't a central place for people to contact and then figure out what is going on in the community. So we really wanted to make it easier for people to access services, specifically for sex workers. And so that's why the coalition came together a couple years ago.
This is a good area to bring tricks because, see, there's nothing in this factory right in here. And so then we have them park right in here. And the police don't usually come down this far. You gotta have a plan. As soon as you get in the car, you check out the car, what's in the car. You totally gotta go off of intuition before you ever get in that car. You know, what's your feeling about this person?
Mostly on these back streets is where you'll find a lot of the girls. It's a one-way street back here where the buses come and stuff. Up in here in Fred Meyer's, all back there. It's dark in the backs in the nighttime, especially on these side streets. There's no street lights or nothing. I would sit at this bus stop down here on this street right here and just sit there and smoke some weed, you know, and be in my own little world. And, you know, I picked up a couple dates back here, but mostly, you know, you have to be walking.
Before, it used to be, you know, just very legitimate that, you know, this is where you go and this is where you get picked up, and you didn't get hassled that much by police. Gentrification of everything, it's just made it so hard, and that's why I think the internet comes into play, or dancing places and stuff like that.
Dancers are prostitutes also. Not all of them, but some of them are. And with the hotels, you know, there's so many different hotels everywhere, but right there is Safari's, down here is Tommy's and Cocktails and Dreams, and then DV8 is up the street, you know, so there's lots of strip clubs on this stroll right here, and so the dancers will just go to the Motel 6 right there. I have.
It's been that way for years. I mean, I used to pull tricks in there when I was 14 and 15 years old, and I'm 52 now.
So what goes on in the McDonald's over there, like in the parking lot or what?
Like, no, like if you sit at that bus stop right there, you get eye contact with somebody, they'll turn, put their blinker on, and then you'll see which way they go, and then you walk down a block, and then they meet you on the back street.
We don't really have like a red light district where you have women kind of standing out soliciting sex. It's really, really underground, pushed really underground. So this place, I've dropped off materials here for outreach. Further on down the street is a place called Pussycats, which also does private shows. I'll drive to different stops. I'll go to some of the motels that I know there's a lot of sex work going on and see if they'll let me leave stuff in their lobby. A lot of it I post at bus stops, just trying to get a lot of materials out there and visible. We're at the Clackamas Service Center out here on 82nd Avenue.
We hold a women's health clinic. We see only women who are usually homeless under the age of 30.
There's a lot of women camping along the Springwater corridor over here, so they're homeless women, like Emerin said, often engaged in survival sex.
Are you interested in seeing a doctor or getting a haircut or
maybe a massage.
Okay.
These folks need to get back where the medical people are.
Okay.
Often there's drugs involved with sex work, so we have a small exchange there on Thursdays. It's a public health need. It's this way, it's prevention of hepatitis C and HIV. It's just another way to help them stay safe on the streets.
If you could take your finger and point it to the area that you feel the most discomfort, that would be helpful. It's a little off the beaten track. And in working in that particular area, we found that people were more receptive to coming. It allowed them to be more anonymous. It allowed them to seek services on their own terms. They didn't feel like they were, quote unquote, outing themselves by coming to our clinic site. They were just seen as coming to a mobile clinic.
The doctors treat you out there like you're human. A lot of the doctors around here, if they hear that you're a sex worker, they just like don't want to touch you.
For a lot of people who are very well intentioned will do things that are off-putting to sex workers. What we're trying to do is make it so that the various services that are available are going to be something that a sex worker is going to want to go to.
Sex trafficking of people that don't want to be involved in the business is wrong, and those are the challenges that we face. And also getting all of the women that are in the feminist movement on the same page and to understand, you know, why women would choose this.
I'm not a victim, and I chose to do everything that I do and that I've done. So personally, I don't agree with everything that's said about sex workers. I have morals,
you
I have
just have
values,
a job.
And this is my line of work that I choose to be in. A lot of it is companionship. It's not so much of the part of having sex or giving head or hand jobs.
It's not just about getting off.